If you have been financially affected by the COVID pandemic, then this message is for you. Are you among the many folks who have lost their jobs, or if you've been furloughed, or working from home at a reduced pay? If you have credit card debt and cannot make your monthly payments, we at Debt Fix Pros can help. Call us to see how we can reduce your interest rates and lower your monthly payments. If you are struggling with credit card debt, we can help. Call 800-591-5517. That's 800-591-5517.
This is the G Podcast with your host, Tonya B.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the G Podcast. It is episode 71. And, you know, as we tape this podcast on this day, Michael Jackson took it all. 1984. Last day of Black History Month as we tape, February 28th. The brother won 8 Grammys. 8 Grammys. Can you imagine? 8 Grammys at the 1984 award ceremony for Thriller. And I just had to do this. I just had to do a little bit. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, man. Let me stop before I get a call from the estate. You know I go. But anyway, 1984, man. And you know, Michael Jackson, man, when you think back, I do a blog on this little app, 5-minute app called Swell. And, you know, today, again, as we tape the show, you know, Michael won back in 84. But also, like, within the week, Quincy Jones got Producer of the Year and we got Vince the Voice here. Vince, jump in when you can. I don't know if you remember.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. I'll formally introduce you, but I want to ask you if you remember The Dude, the album, The Dude.
Oh, yeah. That was huge album.
Huge album. And this week also, because, you know, this kind of around the time when, you know, the Grammys, because of COVID, has been pushed forward. But around this time frame is when usually, you know, we've had the Grammys. But you know, Quincy Jones won, I think, 5 Grammys, including Producer of the Year for The Dude. And, you know, of course, you know, Quincy did the Thriller album as well as my favorite album, which was Off the Wall. But, you know, people don't realize that period, man, when Quincy did like The Dude. Before that, he had done Sounds and stuff like that. You know, he was working with James Ingram. He was working with Patty Austin. He's working with all these massive artists. And then to come up with Off the Wall and produce, you know, Thriller. It was just like the golden age. I call it the golden age, you know, for R&B.
Yeah, no doubt. I know you talk about Michael Jackson, but Quincy, man, look, I mean, he goes back to Frank Sinatra. Quincy was producing stuff. I mean, people need to just look it up. They would be amazed.
The big band era. You know what I'm saying? Like the big, you know,
he was the man.
As a kid, and he's still around. But it's just, you know, I just wanted to mention that, man, you know, and it is a momentous occasion because I think the only artist that actually has come close, or I think may have tied, was Santana. Santana tied with 8 Grammys, but nobody's really consistently done that. So kudos on this day, 1984. I just had to give it that hype, you know. But again,
Gary, Indiana, man. That's how we do it.
That's how you do it. And plus, yeah, absolutely. Because Gary is in the building. Yes, I got to do it right.
GI, baby.
Again, this is the G Podcast. Each week we do news, politics, pop culture, that hot tea from Tonya B. Now here's the deal. You know, Vince is covering for everybody this week. Everybody. Tonya B is down. Y-O had an issue. It ain't COVID, y'all. It ain't vaccine related. He's all right. He just had a birthday celebration he had to deal with. But you know, bottom line is, you know, and I don't consider Vince is not like a guest. He's part of the fam. So I gave him a call and graciously he said, "Yeah, man, I'll come on in. Ain't got nothing else to do. You know, I'm just flying drones. I'm just doing," which we'll get into it. And I want you to explain that. But this week, man, we got a lot of stuff to touch on, and it's stuff you know, Vince, because you know you kind of a news guy. You follow some of this stuff. Stevie Wonder's allegedly talking about packing up, going to Ghana.
And moving.
That's
right.
PPP loan info for businesses 20 or less. Definitely want to talk to you about that because you benefited from PPP, that whole concept. Tiger Woods. We got to get into a little bit of, what's next for Tiger. Kim and Kanye, and of course the Golden Globes. We want to talk about that a little bit, but really just from a standpoint of who didn't get, who ain't nominated and why. That's what we really want to talk about. But the other thing, man, we had a special guest who was going to come in, attorney Shedrick, Jackie McIntosh Shedrick. I want to make sure I get her name right, Esquire. She's of Black Creative Filings, and she's going to have to reschedule, man. Guess why? You want to take a guess? COVID, man.
Oh my God.
So she's she's on the prayer list for us, man. Get well soon, attorney Shedrick. Looking forward to talking to you, getting you back on the show. But take care of yourself. She's in New York, and so take care of yourself. But again, officially, I want to give a warm welcome to Vince the Voice Bailey, who and again, Vince is part of the family. So when Vince is called upon to come in, it's kind of like family. But of course, we're always appreciative. And Vince, I call him the voiceover king, podcaster, drone pilot, activist. He out there activating. What you got? SNS, S-curl, or what you use?
Come on, dog. We got to stop the voter suppression, my brother. Stop the suppression.
That's true. That's true. So I'm going to give it up for Vince the Voice Bailey, man.
Thank you. The crowd goes crazy.
The pride of Gary, Indiana, Vince the Voice. And Vince, I'm glad you mentioned that, because this week, you were telling me, you were out there with some of the folks who are protesting because of this stuff going on in Georgia. Tell us a little bit about the whole protest thing, man. What's up?
Well, you've got a series, and what's crazy, I'm going to pull up here. It's actually happening all across the country, where the Republican legislators, as a result of being, I just got to say it, sore losers, they're trying to change the game in the middle of the game, change the rules in the middle of the game with House bills to make it harder for folks to vote. Mm-hmm. And so there are a series of things. You got Senate Bill 29, which is going to then require 2 sets of IDs to vote absentee. Wow. Senate Bill 67, if required to request, or ID required, you have to have an ID in order to even request an absentee ballot. They want to ban all drop boxes. Remember how you could just drop your stuff off during COVID? And, they want to ban all that. They want to end automatic voter registration. When you would get your driver's stuff down at DMV, you would automatically be registered to vote. They want to kill that. They want to prohibit new Georgia voters from voting in runoff elections. What's that all about? I don't know. Like folks was moving here to vote in the runoff.
But you know what? Let me. But is that going to affect people who turn 18? Like, because wow.
That would end no excuse absentee voting and ban nonprofits from mailing absentee applications, to help people. Yeah. That's a direct dig at Fair Fight, and Stacey Abrams. So the NAACP was on Wednesday. We were there at the state capitol in Liberty Plaza, where we live streamed their protest. And then I get a call that night from the Fulton Democratic Party of Fulton County. Yeah. And we did the same thing, where we were out there, man. And young people, old, black, white. We got to make our screaming at the building. They could hear us from inside, because some of the legislators actually came outside and joined us. But all across the country, they are working to suppress the vote. Yeah, man. And that's what's going on. Yeah. Well,
kudos to you, man, for being involved in that and doing it peacefully, unlike some of the knuckleheads. I ain't got to go any further. You know what I'm talking about. You guys, and it just shows the difference between, the people who understand the concept of protest versus, the ones who are truly the savages, as it relates to January 6th. So kudos to you, NAACP, and some of the other organizations who stood up and went out there, man. And let's do this. Let's do news with Syracuse Mike, and then I want to come back on the back end and just kind of put a bow on some of this stuff. That's cool with you?
That sounds real good, my brother. Sounds real good.
All right, hang tight. We'll be right back.
News team, assemble!
It's time for the Week in News with Syracuse Mike.
COVID-19 continues to impact the U.S. in extreme ways. A new study shows in just a year's time that the virus has caused a drop in life expectancy by 1 year in this country. For African Americans, life expectancy has declined by nearly 3 years. Former President Donald Trump suffered a major setback Monday in his long battle to conceal details of his finances. The U.S. Supreme Court has decided not to block a New York City prosecutor from obtaining Mr. Trump's tax returns and other records as part of a growing criminal investigation. This ruling doesn't mean we get to see the official returns anytime soon. According to his team, Tiger Woods was awake, responsive, and recovering in his hospital room at Harbor UCLA Medical Center following surgery. He sustained significant damage to his right leg and ankle following a Tuesday one-car crash in Rancho Palos Verdes, California. Screws and pins plus a metal rod was used by doctors who also treated trauma to Woods' muscle and soft tissue. Tuesday marked the one-year anniversary of the death of Ahmaud Arbery. Wanda Cooper Jones, Arbery's mother, invited the public to a candlelight vigil in Waynesboro last night. She has also filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against those accused in her son's death. He was shot 3 times at close range. Gregory and Travis McMichael claimed they thought the 25-year-old was responsible for a string of recent burglaries in the area. He was jogging when they confronted him. William Roddy Bryant, who filmed the shooting, was charged as well. Also named in the suit, the former Glenn County police chief and several other county officials. A grand jury in New York State voted not to indict police officers for the death of Daniel Prude, a black man who died of asphyxiation while in police custody in March of last year. This happened in Rochester, New York. Prude is the 41-year-old man who was seen naked in a video with a spit hood over his head and apparently in the middle of a mental health crisis while being restrained against the ground by police. A lawyer for Prude's family says the justice system failed Daniel Prude. A state Senate vote will change the process for absentee voting in Georgia. Republicans say the change is needed. The bill that passed would require you to submit your driver's or state ID number on your ballot request.
It's not about overly burdening the electorate. It is about efficiency and security.
That's State Senator Larry Walker, but Senator David Lucas says this is all about voter suppression.
Every last one of the election bills about the election didn't turn out the way y'all want, and you want to perpetuate the lie that Trump told.
There are a series of bills that the Senate is considering that Democrats feel will make it harder for people to vote in Georgia. U.S. Capitol Police in Washington say they had no clear indication about the size of the crowd that eventually stormed the building last month.
Although we knew the likelihood for violence by extremists, no credible threat indicated that tens of thousands would attack the U.S. Capitol.
That's Acting Capitol Police Chief Yogananda Pittman during a House panel hearing in D.C. She also warned that Donald Trump supporters who launched the deadly assault have indicated they want to blow up the building and kill members of Congress. The House has passed the Equality Act, which would amend the 1964 Civil Rights Act by protecting people from discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity in employment, housing, and other services. It would also impact access to public accommodations, including restaurants. The final vote was 224 to 206. 3 Republicans joined Democrats. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer announced he intends to bring the legislation to the floor. Republican critics point to a provision that says an individual could not be denied access to a restroom, locker room, or dressing room based on their gender identity. For that and other reasons, many of them oppose the changes.
Yeah, we try to catch up on the week, and I want to thank Syracuse Mike for providing us with the headlines from the week. But Mike mentioned a few things, and one of the things he mentioned was the situation in New York with the young man with the spit hood who died. And I want to, basically use that as a springboard for the whole Stevie Wonder talk about going back to, going to Ghana. I don't know if you knew, but Stevie's been talking about going to Africa since like 74. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Right.
Before he did, I think he was working on Songs in the Key of Life. and he was talking about, because he had all these hits after hits after hits. Then he did Song in the Key of Life and just exploded. But he was telling people consistently that he wanted to go to Africa, and I think he even mentioned Ghana. So, but this whole thing, and I don't know if you know this, Vince. Actually, this interview, the one he did with Oprah, it took place in November. So it wasn't this year. It didn't happen. I mean, it happened back in November when Oprah launched the Apple Plus, the Apple TV, her interview show on Apple. But what's happened recently is Ghana and Nigerian press have been using that clip, and I don't know if they're just using it to promote, come to Africa, in the midst of all the social unrest is what they're saying. And, it's still a problem though, man, because, and I've heard a couple of different angles on it. Some people say, well, how could he use his privilege to just leave us or just, bolt and get away? But, he said he's doing it for his kids. He's doing it for his children's children and his grandkids, his future generations. And quite frankly, I don't blame him. Can you blame him?
No.
Can you blame? Go ahead, man.
Steven's he's given us so much. I mean, what more we want to just suck all his blood out of his veins? I mean, Stevie has given us music since he was almost a toddler, man. I mean, appearing at the Apollo when he was how old? Yeah. I don't know, 7, 8 years old, maybe, or even younger. Yeah. So he's done his job. If Stevie want to go to Ecuador, wherever Stevie want to go ahead, Stevie, and do your thing. I can see you doing that, Stevie, and you can see yourself doing it too. Yeah. Go ahead on.
Yeah, and the other thing too, man, with the sad thing about it that I see is he did this back in 74. He's been saying this since 74. So what does it say about America? You know what I'm saying? What does it say about progress? If he can say the same thing he said back in 1974 and it still resonate with, African Americans today, there's a problem. So, not even, you know what I'm saying? But go ahead, man. Yeah,
no, I came across a 1957 debate that I posted on social media, where it was a representative of Ethiopia. They were high school seniors, Ethiopia, South Africa, the Gold Coast, and Nigeria. Mm-hmm. These 4 students. And of course, the South African, it was a white young lady. And then the other 3 panelists were black. And man, I got to send it to you, Tommy, the discussions that they were having, then in 1957. These kids talking about racial but I got the brother from Nigeria, man. I thought I was listening to Sidney Poitier he was so articulate. He shot the South African down with her apartheid. He was like, I would not pay a penny to come to that country. It is something I would never do.
Broke it down.
So we've been. And that's just 1957. I like history. I really like looking and seeing how we came to be where we are. Mm-hmm. And nothing has changed. And just like we're talking about changing the rules, they're upset because they weren't able to dominate this past election. Yeah. They're ready to change the rules. I don't blame Stevie. If Stevie got an extra ticket, holler at me.
Holla!
I carry your bags.
That's what I'm saying. But man, it's sad, and I'm gonna move off this, but I got to mention this, man. It's amazing that it took these guys won't even during the Trump administration, okay, won't even acknowledge that there's a problem with white supremacy. And then we see what happens on January 6th. And finally, I do applaud Merrick Garland, who's the new attorney general. He finally says, because he's the guy who, basically went after Timothy McVeigh. Yeah. For the Oklahoma City bombing. So he's making it his first priority. So we'll see. I'm hopeful. I think Merrick Garland, the way he pursued Timothy McVeigh and the Oklahoma City bombing, if he puts that kind of energy into pursuing a lot of what's going on in the country now with white supremacy, I think he's going to make a difference. So, we'll see. We'll see.
And
I'm going to be positive.
I think he has to. They have to.
Yeah.
How can you allow something what's next then?
Yeah,
they actually blow up the Capitol?
Yeah, because
you got to shut that stuff down.
anybody who makes that kind of threat, I mean, even if just the fact that it came out of your mouth is enough, so moving on, man. Tiger Woods. I just want to give Tiger some advice, man. I really do. First of all, Tiger, get a driver. Get a driver, dude. You make enough money. Don't drive yourself. Stop that. Just get a driver. You can afford it. Number two, man, you got to think about your future, bro. And I think he has to look through the lens of his life going forward, not through the lens of chasing Jack Nicklaus for that, the Masters or the championships won. He needs to stop looking at the world through that, because that's his focus, as everybody knows. Because I think, candidly, based on hearing the injuries that I heard this week, that ain't going to happen. I don't see it. I'm not being pessimistic, but, the only way I can see it happening, Vince, is Steve Austin, $6 billion man right now, rebuilding him. And I don't see that happening right now. Also, I think he's got to consider his kids. I think he's got to look at the world now going forward, man, because Tiger, almost like I look at you saying that about Stevie. Tiger's given enough, quite frankly. Yes. Even if he doesn't surpass Nicklaus, I don't think it matters. I think people will view him as the greatest in his sport. But this situation, man, it's almost like a fighter going in the ring well beyond his prime if he comes off this. Because you heard about the metal rods in his fibula, in his foot. There's just so much that's gone into this accident and the injuries. I just don't see it. Do you see it?
It was devastating. I have not really dug into what happened. I saw the pictures of the vehicle. I mean, that was enough for me. What was crazy is that I had just maybe 3 days prior watched the Tiger documentary on HBO Max.
Yes, I did too.
3 days prior, and I was all into that. I was like, oh my God! I mean, Tiger. I mean, he won one of those, super tournaments with a broke leg. You heard it crack when he swung, and he still walked the course and won this tournament. He was doing some incredible. I mean, I don't play golf, but I was so impressed, watching him, on the course. So. I don't know what the circumstances were with this accident. From what I hear, they're saying it was just an accident. It was just he was tired, I guess. Kind of ran off the road. I think it'll be a wake up call to him. I mean, only person he has to prove something to now is himself. He is the greatest. Watching that documentary, when you would see him tee off, I was tripping on the people. They were so close. It was like a sidewalk of people. You know what I'm saying? It was just enough for that ball to go straight. Otherwise, and there's no way I would be standing looking there. That ball hit me upside my head.
They trusted that. Trust.
Force, man, when he hit the ball, it was like bang, like a gunshot, man.
But that's the thing. That's the thing, Vince. They talk about his swing. They don't call his swing powerful. They call it violent. How hard he attacks the ball. And that's one of the reasons why his back, he's had so many issues with his back because of the type of swing. So I just don't, it's up to him, candidly. He's made some missteps. He's done some stuff that's kind of pissed off the black community. I've gotten past that. I've moved on. I just think, you just hate to see a guy trying to battle in a situation where you're beyond, because he's 45. He's 45. And Vi and I were having a conversation this week, about him. Vi had mentioned going to the seniors tour and doing his thing on the seniors tour, versus trying to compete with these young guys. But, when you got pins in your leg, because they're not just going to come out magically. I mean, that's, it's like you break your hip at a certain age, man. The healing process is different from when you were in your 20s versus you being in your 40s, almost 50. So, we'll see.
But he's been, what does his dad say? He picked up a golf club when he was like 2 months old or something.
He's been swinging like that since he was 2,
Since he was 2, right. So, I mean, this is really all he knows.
This is.
As far as I guess, fulfillment of life. So whatever Tiger decides to do, I'm just in that vein of, Tiger, he's awesome, man. I mean, I'm so impressed after watching that documentary. And then the fact of, the challenges. Hey, he faced up,
Yeah. So true.
He was boom a zoom zoom, man, spinning out there in Vegas and everything. But he faced the music. He came out,
Yeah.
He lost the supermodel babe. But I mean, hey, he's paid his price. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I just say, those are my thoughts. And first and foremost, dude, please get a driver. Just go out and get you a driver, man. Damn. Not like a driver in the golf bag. I mean, like a physical brother. Somebody.
Call Tyrone. Anytime, man. Hit me. Call me.
Dude, get somebody ex-NASCAR. Get somebody who definitely can keep you on the road, dude. Don't be doing it yourself. I'll leave it at that. He was not impaired. He was not impaired.
But it was... But wasn't it in the wee hours of the morning?
It was early because he had done some shoots because he was shooting some footage for I guess a series or something with some of the celebrities. I think David Spade, some Hollywood folks, and he had been out early for the shoot, and he was on his way back to wherever he was, his temporary dwelling, man, and and in an area that what they say is kind of prone to accidents.
Right, it's got the slope off the side of the road. Yeah.
Driving in Cali, man, and driving in those valleys ain't no joke. So, hope he gets well, man. Praying for his recovery physically, man. So, we'll see how it goes. The other thing on the news side, man, we'll wrap it with this and then we'll go to a break. But Trump and the taxes thing, man. I just, a lot of folks, a buddy of mine was saying, man, why are you so vindictive? Why don't you just let it go, let it be? And my whole point about the whole tax thing, and if you listen to the podcast enough, I don't want the taxes to be vindictive. He promised, he promised multiple times when he was campaigning against Hillary. And then, he made a promise shortly after he took, the presidency. But I just don't believe, Vince, that anybody in higher office should be in higher office without disclosing their taxes. Because the problem with people not knowing where your money comes from is not knowing your loyalties. And I think that's one of the things, candidly, that they're going to find out where his loyalties lie when they really get into it. So I'm not concerned. I know a lot of people want the taxes public. If they don't make them public, I'm cool with that. But I'm more happy about the fact that the investigators have his taxes, because we need to know where his loyalties lie. So we'll see. Go ahead, Vince.
The alleged evidence, that has leaked out just shows, though, just a lot of fraudulent activity.
Yeah.
When we're talking allegedly, that, you inflate your value of your stuff when you're going for a loan, and then you deflate it when you're filing your taxes. I mean, he had the university, the Trump stakes, all those things went bankrupt, all of them. Mm-hmm. And so that's a crime. And that's a crime against the American people. That's a crime against the business world, the SEC, everything. So I think it definitely needs to be investigated thoroughly. And then all the problems and name calling and doesn't play and he was playing. Yeah. Hey, let's people want to get him back. People want to get him back for what he did. You know how it is. Somebody start talking about your mama or something like that. You talk about people's wives, their mama.
They still, you know what? They still support him. Ted Cruz, he damn near called his wife ugly, and they still support him. It's amazing. I was looking at and not looking because I didn't care, but I will applaud CNN and MSNBC for not showing the CPAC speech. Fox did show it, but just looking at all these people kissing the ring, at CPAC this weekend it's just ridiculous. And when, basically they don't know where this investigation is going to go. But according,
did you see the golden Trump thing, man?
It's crazy, dude.
That reminded me of some medieval, God gonna strike y'all down kind of stuff. That
reminded me
of be worshiping that golden cow,
dude. I'm looking for Charlton Heston to cut Moses
right.
With the staff. I'm like, folks, I'm like, damn, this dude got the golden cow.
That is crazy, man.
Nuts,
that is
man.
some scary Marjorie Green, QAnon, crazy. All this stuff. It's so nuts. It's so beyond.
Yeah, dude.
It's hard to get your mind around it.
It's idol worship. It's idol worship at its worst, man. At its worst, man. Like I said, I thought I was
white supremacy. That's what it's really all about.
Yeah, so true. So true. Hey, man, let's take a quick break. We're going to do our thing. And Tonya B's out this week. She's ailing, but, I'm going to come back and try to do my best T impersonation. How about that?
That'll work.
All right, we'll be right back, y'all.
If you have been financially affected by the COVID pandemic, then this message is for you. Are you among the many folks who have lost their jobs, or if you've been furloughed, or working from home at a reduced pay? If you have credit card debt and cannot make your monthly payments, we at Debt Fix Pros can help. Call us to see how we can reduce your interest rates and lower your monthly payments. If you are struggling with credit card debt, we can help. Call 800-591-5517. That's 800-591-5517.
Now then, children, it's time for tea.
It's tea time, y'all. Sipping the tea with Tonya B.
It's a trip, man, sitting here and with all your voiceover.
Right.
You're like, damn, that's me. Hey, y'all, but, this week's tea, man, want to just say thank you to Tonya B. She's out. She's under the weather this week, but I'm catching you up. Hey, y'all, here's an update. I know everybody's heard about Kim and Kanye. The divorce is happening right now. Kim is citing irreconcilable differences. According to the divorce documents, she's requested joint custody of the 4 kids, North, Saint, Chicago, and Psalm. Why they do their kids like that, man?
Northwest, get up here. Which way do I go?
Well, she's hired lawyer Laura Wasser, who is the Kardashian family attorney of choice. But Laura Wasser's also represented Kelly Clarkson, Dr. Dre, Johnny Depp, Stevie Wonder, because Stevie been married multiple times, and Ryan Reynolds multiple times. So we'll keep you up on that. I think, man, Kim had enough, man, with the political stuff. I think that was it came to a head when he ran for president, and he really started making that alliance with Trump. Because she looked at it as probably bad for her business, and it hurt her. But apparently, man, Kanye spent $12 million of his own money to run for president. And you know what I'm saying? And
you need to be on Black Mental Matters, man. We need to talk Kanye. We need to talk Kanye because there's something. And then also I understand he was talking about her almost having an abortion.
That was a big part of it.
Ticked her off.
Yeah, that was a big part of it. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And
the Kardashians, they're gonna get you, man. You can't mess with them girls. Dude. They done went through all the teams, the brothers, the boxers. I think Michael Jordan, Ray J, did sex tape, everything. They'll do it all, bro.
They will take you. Do not. No. That's kryptonite. They are the black man's kryptonite. Yes, they are. And apparently now he's selling the jewelry that Kim gave him over the course of the marriage as well. So, I think there's some financial stuff going on with him as well. And we'll see, because once Kim pulls her fortune back, the ugly truth is probably going to be staring him in the face. So we'll see how that goes for him, man. So, we'll see. Kanye
got some cheddar, bro. Kanye got a lot of cheddar.
Yeah, he got cheddar, man.
He got a lot of cheddar.
Yeah, he got cheddar, but it's going to be interesting because the perception of Kanye, even though I know he's got loyal followers, has changed when he went through all this. So we'll see. And his music ain't the Kanye music of old. It ain't the classic stuff. So we'll see. As we tape the podcast tonight, man, the Golden Globes, actually, they've already started I think they started the red carpet and all that stuff. And I'm not really into that, but I want to mention just a couple of things, man. Not to go into all the awards, but I want to talk about the snubs, and the surprises. And snub, man, and this is, because the Golden Globe's kind of an indicator of the Academy Awards. And I don't know if did you see Defy Bloods, man? Have you seen it?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
Spike Lee and Delroy Lindo are not nominated.
Yeah.
So Spike didn't get nominated for director. A lot of folks felt Delroy Lindo deserved Best Male Actor. The movie has a 92% Rotten Tomato score. Nope, didn't get it. And what were you going to say about the movie?
Personally, it was okay to me. It wasn't my favorite. One of my favorites. I would not watch it twice.
Yeah.
It was okay though. Nothing against it. Just for me, it didn't make me want to see it again or talk about it much.
It's not my favorite Spike Lee movie. It's not my favorite Spike.
Right.
Yeah. So
you could definitely tell it was a Spike Lee movie. They had them moving, walking shots. Spike Lee. You could tell it was a Spike Lee flick.
Yeah, people floating.
There was some great acting in there and everything, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it didn't get a nomination, and a couple of movies like the Borat thing. The comedy. Yeah, it was nominated, which, a lot of people, that's some bullshit. I mean, I wasted my night watching that. Surprises, Andra Day, she's nominated for the United States versus Billie Holiday. And I will say this, that she deserves it because she's pretty much, in my opinion, the best thing in the movie. That's the best thing about that movie. It's Andra Day. Snubbed, man, yeah. Regina King did not get nominated for One Night in Miami. As best drama. Folks are upset about that. Also, Lovecraft Country, Journey Smollett, Jonathan Majors didn't get any love at all from Golden Globe. Michaela Cole, I don't know if you watched or heard of I May Destroy You on HBO, which I thought
I know her well. That girl is awesome.
She is incredible.
She is incredible.
Yep. She got no nomination. A lot of folks were... None whatsoever.
Yeah, now I'm upset.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
And she wrote that I May Destroy You was kind of based on a situation that she went through, being sexually abused and waking up, not knowing, kind of thing. She was in this bubble gum or something. There was a series.
Chewing gum.
Man, that's why I first ran across her. I said, man, this girl is talented.
Yeah, she's incredible.
I was addicted to her. Yeah, she was very good.
But you talk about Black Mental Matters, and that whole I May Destroy You miniseries is really probably digs deep into a lot of what you talk about on the show, man, and survivors, some of the things you've talked about on the show as well. So, yeah, a lot of people were really upset with the fact that she didn't get acknowledged for doing that. The other snub was Fargo with Chris Rock, season 4. A lot of people felt that Chris Rock should have been nominated, and I feel that way. I didn't watch Fargo, hadn't watched it until season 4, and it was impressive, man. And for all y'all, I think Vi was into this. Shondaland's Bridgerton, like Bridgerton.
Oh, Bridgerton.
It did not get nominated, man.
I was trying to hurry up and get home so I could see the next episode, kind of Bridgerton. I was digging it. The brother, the British brother, wherever he from, he was killing him, boy.
Did you know? Hey, Vince, did you know that the guy from Bridgerton, the brother, also played Malcolm X in A Night in Miami?
Yes.
Same. I did not know.
He was he hosted Saturday Night Live the other week as well, and that's man, he that was him playing in that film, and man, he killed that role. It was a great story though, and that what was so powerful for Black folks, to see us as royalty. I'm big on that right now, man. I'm watching Vikings right now, man. It's very violent. But back in the days, man, what they would do, their job was to go pillage another country, take their stuff, and then come on back, claim it for their own. And when you start connecting the dots around the world as to how things are, what they are, you'd be surprised, man. And to see us in a good, like my brother in Bridgerton and his aunt or whoever, his caretaker, it was a wonderful story. Wonderful.
I agree, man. And you know what? By the way, I'm just gonna wrap it with this, man. With the Golden Globes, you know, they are acknowledging the fact that they have no black members on the board that actually formulates the nominations. But according to reports, they pledge to change that. So we'll see. Coming this Friday, man, as we tape the podcast, last day of Black History Month, Coming to America is out. You know, the sequel on Amazon Prime on May 5th. And, you know, a lot of pressure's been on Eddie Murphy to make sure this thing is a hit. And they asked Eddie about it, and Eddie said, I'm going to work on Beverly Hills Cop 4. so what I got to say...
It looks hilarious.
It looks
hilarious, man. I'm ready to check it out.
It looks hilarious, but it ain't a good sign when the star says, I'm going to the next thing. So, you know what I'm saying? This is the guy who did this, Craig Brewer. Brewer is the director, man. He's the same guy. I think he did Hustle and Flow. He did the Dolomite movie with him. White dude out of Memphis. So, he's the director. You know, before the director was the guy from who did Animal House. I forgot his name. Landis. John Landis. John Landis directed the original one. So we'll see, man. I mean, the John Landis original, it's going to be epic. There's so much in that movie that's packed, man. And it's just going to be curious. I'm curious to see if they can come close. If they come close, they'll be okay. So we'll go from there. March 5th, y'all. Trailer looks really good, man. I can't wait to get my popcorn and sit down. And if his mama named him Clay, I'm gonna call him Clay. You know, just have a good time. But you know what, man? You know what, Vince, man? Sometimes, man, the trailer is the best thing. You ever see a movie and then you say, "Damn, the trailer was better than the movie." So let's hope that the movie's better than the trailers or as good as the trailers. Okay. The United States versus Billie Holiday dropped this past Friday on Hulu. And, you know, I'm not going to give y'all all the details, but Lee Daniels is saying don't call it a biopic, which was interesting because everybody else is. Vi and Tonya B raved about it. I saw it. I tried to like it. I was working hard to like it. But it's just so much in it that you can't get anything. You know how it is? It just moves from moment to moment to moment to moment. There's so much packed in it, so many things it's trying to do. It was hard for me to enjoy it because it was trying to do so much. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? I don't want to say it's a bad movie. It's just that it's trying to do so much. And I'm sure there was a lot of pressure, man, because of the, you know, who's in it. I mean, who it's about. But I will say Andra Day, man, that's the best damn casting of I call it a biopic. You remember Jim Morrison, The Doors movie with Val Kilmer?
Yeah, he played that role.
I mean, that's the only time I looked at a biopic and said, "Damn, that's Jim Morrison." Because you see the pictures side by side, and you're like, "Damn, this dude." It's almost that way with Billie Holiday when you look at Andra Day, and then you see the interviews of Billie Holiday and see how she conducts herself. Man, very close, eerily close. So you know, I think she is the best part of the movie. She saves the movie. Because it's just, you know, everything's thrown up against the wall. You got any thoughts? Have you seen it yet?
No, but, you know, my brother is my Siskel and Ebert. He texts me, you know, Vince, he got me on Vikings. He's got me on everything, all the shows that I watch, because he's retired. You know, and he's just chilling out there in Vegas. So His word about both of those, the Billie Holiday, are thumbs up. So he's, man, you got to check this out. And he said the same thing, that Andra Day, just killed the role. She was just awesome. I'm interested to hear the story of Billie Holiday, or see it on the screen again. Remember, the lady sings the blues.
Oh, yeah, Diana Ross.
That kind of thing.
And it's funny because Diana Ross's son is in the movie. Evan Ross is in the movie.
That right?
Yeah, he plays an FBI agent. But I'm not going to go too much. I don't want to give away too much. But, again, it's worth seeing. And, I mean, if anything, Day is Lady Day. the current day is Lady Day. So she did a phenomenal job. Yeah. Also, man, congrats to Black director Tim Story, man. I don't know if, I think everybody saw, because they ran so many commercials. Tom and Jerry came out this weekend. But did you know the director's Black? Tim Story.
I did not.
Yeah, Tim Story. He's the same guy who did Ride Along, Think Like a Man, 1 and 2. He did the most recent Shaft. He did Barbershop. And, so Tom and Jerry is actually number 1 at the box office this weekend. It was topped the box office, $13 million. And he said he did it because he wanted his son. His son was, at the time when he made the movie, 7 years old. So he wanted to impress his 7-year-old son. So he took the project on. But the great thing, and my Gen Z loved it. Fam watched it with the fam. I mean, it's cool. It's a kids movie, so it's good. It's good for the kids. But the thing I liked about it, man, the soundtrack, Tribe Called Quest, Can I Kick It, Eric B. and Rakim, Don't Sweat the Technique, Jagged Edge, T-Pain. So, for the soundtrack alone, man, I was impressed. It might be too black for some of these critics, because I think when they had these,
that's why my friend DJ Webb, that's what he posted. He said something about the audio was just banging.
It was banging.
All these speakers, they were bumping, huh?
Yeah, man. Okay. And the pigeons were rapping, the flying pigeons. So I think that probably pissed a couple of critics off. That's some real quick stuff, man, and then we'll get up out of entertainment. But Mike Tyson, man, is pissed off with Hulu. They've got an unauthorized, I call it a money grab documentary or biopic, 8 series, limited series thing called Iron Mike. And, Mike Tyson said, man, it is cultural misappropriation. Apparently, I think Mike is saying he's working on his own, and he will be announcing it soon. He wants fans to boycott Hulu. Mike's like, don't fall for the bullshit, y'all. Follow me, So Mike is apparently working on his own thing. They did not consult with Mike on any of this. Mm-hmm. So, and he's upset about it. So he's asking for a boycott of Hulu, so we'll see where that goes.
Well,
yeah.
You saw what Dave Chappelle, he was upset with Netflix. Yep. Upset. They took it off of Netflix, his show. Then he got the money that he was owed from Comedy Central, as well as Netflix, and then they put it back on. I mean, you got to fight. You got to fight the power. Put on some Public Enemy, man. You got to fight some power. I'm gonna find it for you. Here.
I can find it for you. Get out of here. I'm gonna pull something up. Also, man.
Yeah, man.
That fine Eve with the paw prints is back she's coming back on the small screen. Yes, with the paw prints.
Right. Rough Rider.
And,
Rough Rider.
She's got a new series. It's called Queens. I think it's going to be out on ABC. She plays members of a 90s girl group. So we'll keep you posted on that. Tyler Perry is working on, and this is not related to
everything.
You know what I'm saying? This is not related to Queens, but he's got another series coming out for BET Plus. It's called The Queens, all with the Queens Men, and it follows the female owner of an upscale strip club in the ATL. Now, how many? That could be. Wow. That could be any. How many clubs we got in the ATL? Also, man, I don't know if you had a chance to check it out, but it is on Apple Music. D'Angelo and Friends was on Versus as we taped the show last night. It was beautiful, man. And I got to give it up to, D'Angelo. And he had her on. He had Method Man, Redman. They all collaborated with him. Viewership was low, man, because I think he was supposed to do this thing on Valentine's Day against Maxwell, and it fell through. Now, that would have been massive. So he just decided to do it on his own. But you can see the full show on Apple Music. It's available. Strong thumbs up, man. Kenan and Young Rock on NBC continue to do well. Of course, The Rock The Young Rock show's at 8 p.m. on Tuesday, and Keenan is at 8:30. And rest in peace, man, James Burke of the 60s group The Five Stair Steps, man, passed away. Ooh, child.
Things are going to get easier.
Let's hope so. So,
I've got one for you.
Go ahead, man.
Tommy B.
What you got?
A huge Renee Montgomery, part of the new ownership of the Atlanta Dream WNBA,
Yes.
the sister,
Yes.
former player who sat out because of social justice last year, and now she is an owner. And I put it out in the universe. I told them I want my daddy's records back. I want my job back.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I was the PA announcer for 12 years. And then new management came in.
Hang on, Vince. Hang on, man. Let me do this. I got you. That's big news because of the whole Leffler debacle.
She had to sell.
Yeah, she had to get out, and I'm glad. She didn't deserve to carry that team. The team didn't respect her, man.
And
yeah,
they didn't respect her, supposedly, or not supposedly, but the story is that LeBron James introduced Renee Montgomery to these two investors,
awesome.
And they made the deal happen. And so I'm excited for the Atlanta Dream once again. I was hating kind of baby on the side, not really. But you know how it is.
I know
your old team. I used to know them people. And
well, I hope you do, man.
But,
you're a phenomenal voiceover guy. I mean, well, not just a personality, man. Sideline, you do a lot of ballroom dancing, a lot of different types of things where you interact with the public, man. And I don't see how they could not, decide to bring you back. So they should,
I mean, in all sincerity, I would like to, because I think it's going to be fun again,
I agree.
And if I'm not having fun, then the audience isn't having fun. And that's what I understand has been the past 2 years. So bring back the voice and we'll fill up some arenas once again. They went from first to worst.
Wow.
That's all I got to say.
Let me do it one more time, man. Smart move.
3-point basket, Tommy B.
Oh, yeah. All right, y'all, you can give us a call back. Anything you agree with, disagree with, you got some input, give us a call, 413-556-9546, 413-556-9546. Let's take a quick break, and I want to come back and talk to you about PPP, man, and then we'll get up out of here. But you have, I think, some interesting insight to give people. So hang on. We'll be right back. Hey, I want to take a minute to talk about the Start Your Podcast Now free webinars that happen weekly at castropolis.net. The weekly webinars happen every Wednesday at 9 p.m. and are only about a half hour. It's a great place to start and get questions answered if you're considering starting a podcast. I'm Tommy B, and I'm your host for these weekly webinars. If you're interested, go to castropolis.net and click on the banner. That's castropolis.net. Click on the banner. Also, if you're a podcaster, the Castropolis Podcast Network is looking for new shows and creatives to collaborate with. We have streaming opportunities if you're looking to stream your show with us. And also just add our Black-owned and operated network to the other platforms you're already associated with. If you're interested, email us at info@castropolis.net. That's info@castropolis.net. Again, info@castropolis.net. Also, this information will be available on the podcast page. Thank you. Oh, yeah, we are here. Tommy B, Vince the Voice Bailey. Tonya B's out this week, under the weather. Vi has a special, it ain't vaccine related. He just has a special birthday family thing that he's attending, and Y-O is away on an engagement as well. So it's just me and Vince the Voice this week. They will all be back on next week's podcast. But Vince, I'm glad you're here, man, because I want to play something, and let's come back and talk about it on the other end. And it's a little long, but a couple of minutes. But it's really important. If you are an entrepreneur, you need to pay attention to this. So hang on.
Today, I'm announcing additional changes to the PPP program that will make sure we look out for the mom and pop business even more than we already have. On Wednesday, the Small Business Administration is going to establish a 14-day exclusive PPP loan application period for businesses and nonprofits with fewer than 20 employees. People can find out more at the SBA.gov. Small Business Administration will also remove barriers that have stopped many businesses from being able to apply for these loans. The student loan default or a non-fraud related criminal record does not prohibit someone from applying for the program. We're also making it easier for those one-person businesses like the home repair contractors, beauticians, small independent retailers to secure forgivable PPP loans. At the same time, we're increasing access by increasing oversight. I invite any inspector general in this program with jurisdiction over this program to closely look at these loans and publicly report on any issues they uncover inconsistent with what I'm saying today. We will ensure every dollar is spent well. These changes will bring much needed, long overdue help to small businesses who really need help staying open, maintaining jobs, and making ends meet. And this is a starting point, not the ending point. We need Congress to pass my American Rescue Plan. It deals with the immediate crisis facing our small businesses. Now, critics say the plan is too big. Let me ask them a rhetorical question. What would you have me cut? What would you leave out? The American Rescue Plan targets $50 billion to support the hardest hit small businesses after this program expires at the end of March. Would you not help invest in them? Would you let them continue to go under? Would you leave them out again, like the previous administration did? And it's my hope that as Democrats and Republicans who have backed the PPP program, that Democrats and Republicans will back the American Rescue Plan.
Hey, Vince, I wanted to bring that up while you were on the show, man, because you benefited from PPP with your business.
I did. Yeah, because it was, you know, like everyone else, everything stopped, and I have a great CPA. I have a good zip code. I will say that, and because I do believe that's one of the reasons why I was able to, access the resources so quickly and efficiently. Yeah, that's the whole issue now. So thank you so much, Uncle Joe. President Biden for making sure that this is going to be a little more equitable this time and fair. Right now, as he said, starting 9:00 in the morning on Wednesday, a 14-day exclusive application period is opening for businesses and nonprofits with fewer than 20 employees. Mm-hmm. And it's aimed to open lending for the sole proprietors, independent contractors, like you said, self-employed folks, and definitely even non-fraud felony conviction small business owners. There's a special special situation to help them as well. So, but it's 14 days where they're really going to put the focus to help Black folks get some of this support. And man, I mean, it was a lifesaver. It was a lifeblood, and I was able to utilize it and had definitely helped sustain over this year. It's been a whole year, literally that this COVID has been in effect, and I'm very thankful for it. Very thankful for it.
So you and I always had the conversation about. We were talking about the end of the Trump administration, and one of the things you said was opportunity. Y'all better be ready for opportunity. This is one of those opportunities. Am I correct in saying that?
That's right.
So,
this is opportunity. So again, 9 a.m., you need to start doing that paperwork right now. Get with the CPA. There's a bunch of companies. Be careful. There are companies that will set up specifically to do your paperwork, and they're taking half your money. Don't do that. I mean, find someone legitimately who understands about the application process and get that thing in. It was amazing, man. I mean, it like dropped into the account like 2 days later. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, thank God. It was amazing.
Yeah, and it's at SBA.gov. And without a doubt, when you go to SBA.gov, you can't miss it. Just go directly to it. But I've got to say this, man, that we've got to take advantage of all these programs because there was so much misuse, mismanagement, and misappropriation of funds under the last administration that we didn't get anything. And when you mention when he talks about, even on this clip we just played, you know, man, how you think about the barbers, who, you know, how many barbers we have in our community, man, who really took a hit this year because they could not do hair, or the beauticians, man, or, you know, any kind of sole proprietorship, or, you know, anybody who does contract labor, you know, contract work. Of course, you do contract work, or, you know, independent contractor, LLC, however, you know, you position your business. But it's important, man, because, you know, so many of us are quote unquote entrepreneurs. You know, that's our, you know, that basically sustains us in a lot of cases, during some major parts of our life. So I want to make sure I put that link to SBA.gov on the podcast page, man. Thank you for, you know, you've always mentioned this to me. So, hey, man, you got to look out for this thing. You know, more of our people really need to get involved in this and take advantage of it. And we do. And I do believe that, man, the heart's in the right place with this administration, because the real way to wealth for our people, man, will be entrepreneurship. We got to find ways to build our own and, you know, not be as dependent on the paycheck. You know, if we can, you know, become independent of working for people who, you know, basically, you know, especially like in situations where it's an at-will situation where people can let you go at any moment. You know, we need to start developing skills and opportunities, you know, not just I hate to say it, I don't want to be negative, man, but, you know, you see so many of the multi-level marketing.
Yeah, I'm not selling no noni juice, and I'm not, it's a bunch of them out there. But when you said the word though, entrepreneur, and I think what people have to understand when we talking about entrepreneurship, that all an entrepreneur does is solves a problem. Mm-hmm. You see what the problems, you see what's needed, and you jump in there. It may not even be something that they necessarily love this subject matter. However, they understand, okay, there's a shortage of ketchup. Well, I've got a source for a lot of ketchup. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be able to sell ketchup and make this happen. Yeah. And so there's definitely, after this COVID season, there's going to be a lot of problems to be solved.
So true.
And so there's going to be a lot of problems that need to be solved. I mean, I'm excited about the future personally. I mean, there's going to be a lot to do. And I think that your audience, you know, just all of us, we just need to get proactive. And again, what's the problem? Now let's provide some solutions, particularly in our own communities. We always talk about how much money in the Black community and where it goes, this, that, and the other. I really don't care where it comes from. I'll take some Russian money, some Chinese money, everybody money. But we need to keep them dollars
above the radar.
I do in our community. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So true. Y'all give us a call, 413-556-9546. Would love your feedback. You know, if you benefited from PPP, or, you know, you're looking at taking part in the upcoming program, would love to know how the interaction works for you. And if you're able to take advantage of it, man. So give us a call, 413-556-9546. Vince the Voice Bailey, man, as always, I just want to say thank you, brother. Thank you for doing your thing. Hey, what you got coming up next, man? And is there any way people can connect with you? Anything coming up?
Yeah, we got a great show coming up for Black Mental Matters, man. And I'm getting more and more used to bearing my soul. My actual doctor, who is an outstanding, just fire ball of energy, Dr. Sandra Jackson Dent will be my guest. And she's an author. She's a motivational speaker. And she's going to just break it down. It's an awesome program, who went through some challenges herself. And she has been very good for my psyche as well as physically. And I'm excited about that. We're going to be producing a new podcast as it relates to moving the needle forward economically and things like that. Talk about this PPP and so much going on, man. And of course, you know, I shoot videos, so there's going to be a lot more protests going on here lately. Yeah. So it's keeping me jumping. And yeah, man. And like you saw me earlier flying the drones. I got to get that license. Once I get that license, I'm flying around your house, Tommy.
Oh, no, don't do that, bro.
Packages.
Man, I'll make sure.
Good, man. God is good.
Yeah, I'll make sure I have your number, your Instagram and email address on the podcast page, man. Keep doing the great work, man. Keep doing the great
Appreciate
work.
it, man.
Keep doing the great work.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. And just again, want to say thank you to my co-hosts. They didn't make it today, but Vi, Tonya B, Y-O, they'll all be back next week. And with that, y'all, episode 71 is in the can, and we are out of here. Peace.
God bless.
You've been listening to the G Podcast with your host, Tommy B. The G Podcast is a production of the Castropolis Podcast Network. Thanks for listening.